and welcome to a all-new edition of Psychobabble. Even though it's 2016, I was just talking on Facebook with some people that had commented on a post I made about what is your favorite scary movie. And of course, anytime you ask that question now, although we've always had that question, the fans of the horror genre, we've always asked that question, each other that question, and as a great conversation piece. But it just goes to show how huge Scream has become in the genre. The fact that now when you say or ask that question, what is your favorite scary movie? What's your favorite scary movie? You can't do it without somebody mimicking the voice of Ghostface, you know. So it's become as iconic as any horror movie, Ghostface as any other boogeyman, and so I kind of was pushed by that. It just kind of hit me. I've never done a Psychobabble movie review for any of the Scream movies, so there's no better place to start than Scream, the first one. So welcome to Psychobabble, Scream edition. First, sure, let's go ahead and refresh everyone's memory with the trailer. It'll be nostalgic for those of us who remember seeing that trailer for the first time and had expectations for what this movie was going to be. And I think in the trailer it already echoed movies like Halloween and When a Stranger Calls especially.
Hello?
Hello?
Who is this?
You tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
I don't think so.
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Someone is playing a deadly game.
It all began with a scream over 911.
Someone who's seen one too many scary movies. Now, he's taken his love of fear
Hello?
Hello, Sydney.
one step too far.
Do you like scary movies?
What's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie. Number one, you can never have sex.
It's me.
Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back.
Get another beer, you want one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back!
He didn't make the rules.
The police are always on track if they watch prom night at same time.
He just kills by them. Don't answer the phone. Don't open the door. Don't try to hide.
Everybody's a suspect!
You're not scared, are you?
Scream.
Alright, so that's the trailer. I think it's kind of fun seeing that again. I can remember going to the theaters the first time, and there was just nothing like Scream on or released at that time. You know, it did for the horror genre on a smaller scale, you know, let's be honest, but still, it did the same thing for the genre that that Psycho did. I mean, at the time that it came out, we'd returned to the monster movie phase. You know, Jason had become a monster, you know, a zombie. He wasn't a man anymore. Freddy, who, you know, was brought to cinema by the same director, Wes Craven. Not to take all of the credit, because Kevin Williamson, that wrote the screenplay or the script and the story, everything, he created it out of his mind based on the Gainesville murders in Florida, at the University of Florida, just a few years before the movie. But and a lot of people don't know that. But the way the movie doesn't take itself too serious, or the genre, the way it pokes a little bit of fun at the genre, but does not become goofy or funny. It still has a very chilling feel to it. I've always loved that about Scream, and in all honesty, no movie, in my opinion, before Scream has ever been able to do that. No movie has ever been able to keep us on the edge of our seat in a little bit of a fear and a panic and a guessing of who done it, and at the same time make us laugh so much. Because I'm usually against that. I'm usually for a horror movie that has no comedy in it. You know, if you're going to try to scare the audience, you only got them for an average of 90 minutes. They don't need a break. They don't need a breath. You know, go at them. But Scream successfully, for the first time in, I think, cinema history, in my opinion, for the first time had the perfect marriage between tongue-in-cheek humor and straightforward, in-your-face horror. Now, honestly, there were things I didn't like about Scream that I have to talk about. So, as much as I hate to, let's get to that. I love the movie so much, and it's also a little hard to rip anything about it now with the passing of Wes Craven. But I'm going to be honest. I mean, I'm going to talk about the things that I don't like about the film. There aren't many. I did not like the fact that the reveal is that it just turns out to be two of the goofy teenagers. It works. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. And but I felt like the movie was going head first, making no excuses, with no mercy, showing us a new Boogeyman movie. You know, where it was going to turn out to be this older guy, you know, not older, but I mean older than the kids. Some guy probably 30, 35 years old, that was a complete, you know, psycho, that had lost his reality button, that had seen too many horror movies and knew the horror genre so much inside and out that maybe it was a movie that gave into, and the whole life imitating art that the media so often blames the horror genre for. How genius would it have been, you know, to make it about nothing more than a guy that's psycho, that he's just so in love with the horror genre that he did. I mean, it was the horror movies that he wanted to emulate so bad that he was recreating some of the murder scenes in them. And yes, he's calling and quizzing these teenagers and these babysitters, and, you know, it doesn't matter whether they get it right or wrong. He's going to kill them, or die trying. And that is what I thought it was going to be from the first 18 minutes I saw. But then when it turned out to be two of the kids, to the same, you know, to a certain extent, it's the same motive that I just said would have been great. So I've loosened up a little bit on that, and the movie is a very good movie, even with that reveal and that ending and that choice of killers. Even though then it gets repetitive with all three of the sequels, but it was something new, and the two killers. I joke a lot of the times, and I say that Scream was like the adult version, the adult R-rated version of a Scooby-Doo episode. But that's not a bad thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. All in all, that's the only thing that I can point out and say that I really wasn't completely happy about. I still liked it. I still loved what they did, but that's the one thing that if I was going to change anything, that would be it. And that's a big if. I mean, Scream is damn near perfect. Okay, I don't want to bore you. This video is getting really long. But this is a great movie, and there's so many things to touch base on that if I was going to do a longer movie review on it, I could get into talking about why there were so many things in this movie that was just completely genius. You can't just throw a bunch of teenagers together, or 20-somethings playing teenagers, and as long as you have a good storyline and a really scary or a really gory movie or a really suspenseful film, and think that it'll work. I mean, the cast has to have a face. The cast has to have a personality. The cast has to be people you care about, along with somebody that you shouldn't care about, but you kind of do like them. That was, that was Matthew Lillard. And then the Billy Loomis character, they pointed him out as the killer throughout the whole movie, as to just blatantly come out and show us that, but it was done so obvious that I thought it was just a big red herring. I thought they were trying to make it too obvious that it's him, just like the principal, Henry Winkler. So I immediately ruled Henry Winkler out, the boyfriend. So when it was the boyfriend, yes, it was a surprise and a reveal, but yet it also let me down, because I thought, they pointed so obviously at him that you expect something more of it that has more of a twist to it, not to turn out just to be the person that they pointed the finger at throughout the whole film. Neve Campbell had the same likability and magnetic quality to the audience as Jamie Lee Curtis did in the first Halloween. Rose McGowan was the perfect friend that had the PJ Souls quality. The movie, I mean, it was cast perfectly. That first scene, from the moment that it says Dimension, and then you hear a phone ring and it shows the white phone and Drew Barrymore's hand pick up the receiver. From that second on until the end of that opening sequence, I believe is about 18 minutes. I absolutely loved that sequence, and I can watch that, if not the whole movie, I can watch that daily. I mean, it's that good. Okay, so here we are at the end, because I don't want to go into too much more detail, because I've taken the time to show you the trailer, and I don't want a 20-minute long video. I want people to actually watch the review. So coming to you straight from Psychopath here in Ellisville, filming Psychobabble Scream Edition. On a scale from 1 to 10, I honestly, and remember, before I give you this rating, remember how I always preach on keeping things in perspective. Scream, I give an 8 on a scale from 1 to 10. But then again, you know what I'm about to say. What do I know? This has all been just a bunch of psychobabble. Besides, I need to go. I think I've got a job to do.